So it's a real, as you can see, it was given stay at home and stay in. So I was like, you know what? I've been saying I'm gonna make this video for a long time. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the video and tell y'all about Burning Man and what it's like to go. But I will not be modifying my home because I'm enjoying this good air coming through. So you might hear the wind blowing, tippy tapping. You might hear, you're gonna hear it because y'all just gonna have to catch me where I'm at. Okay, I'm here. Also about to eat. So, but we're here, okay? So, Burning Man. Now listen, number one is planning. You're gonna have to plan for this because, hear me when I say this, church, hear me. Once you're there, you're there. There's no leaving. So you're there for like 10 days straight. So you have to prepare for your own comfort. And number one amongst that is how you travel there. We just clay all the time. How you travel there. So first of all, there's a couple ways to travel, and you need to think about what's going to be most comfortable for you based on the type of person you are. Because if you're a person like me who is used to like whatever kind of specific comforts you have or whatever things you like to do or have around you or you need to function, to sleep, blah, 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 you have to plan to bring all those things with you and take them out. If they create any kind of trash, if they create any kind of anything, you have to take all that trash, whatever you create, back with you. You cannot leave anything there, okay? So, traveling there. You can fly there, and then they have buses that shuttle you onto the campgrounds, and then you can join your camp or group, because usually when you go to this place, you are joining with a camp or group of people. I was invited to someone's camp. And I was lucky enough when I was there that this was the first year that there was a bunch of diversity. So there was a black camp that I was able to interact with. So you can seek them out. I'm sure they probably got like Instagram or some kind of Facebook or something, because going to Burning Man is something like traditional. So it's something that you do over and over and over again, because you come back to see these friends that you haven't seen or blah, 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 or connect with people you haven't connected with. Anyway, getting there. You can fly and take a shuttle bus. It will drop you there. You can drive in yourself. Those are your two options. Here are the pros and cons of each. So, flying in. You got to know that you need to get this flight early, because if you don't, you will not be able to fly into Reno, and that just means more driving and more travel time, because the buses that take you to the campgrounds are in Reno. So, you have to have that bus ticket before you get to Reno. You have to have your flight into Reno. Pros. If you're on the bus, you get through the line quicker. As soon as your bus arrives at the campground, y'all drive through, you're on your way. Cons. You're on a bus for 2.5 hours or something as you drive from Reno to the actual site of Burning Man. Don't love it. It's fine, but you know, if you ever been on a Greyhound bus or a bus going to Cedar Point, if y'all don't know what Cedar Point is, it's a park that most Detroiters go to during childhood. It's the amusement park in Ohio. Anyway, or you've been on that church bus going to wherever, when y'all rent the bus or whatever. Shout out to Lucy. Yes, mama. Anyway, so, excuse me. The bus fast track straight through the line. And this is important because the line is no joke, okay? Whatever day you arrive, even if you're in the early building days, the line, you're gonna be sitting in there if you drive in 2 to 3 hours. That's easy. Sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours. No joke. Sitting in line to get in. So that's something to think about. The earlier you get there, obviously the easier it will be. And the earlier you start preparing to leave, the easier your life will be. So fast track bus takes you through. Big major con of taking this bus through. Number one, it limits the amount of stuff you can take with yourself. Keep in mind, when you go to Burning Man, you have to take everything. The water you will drink for the next 10 days, right? And understand that's going to be a lot more water than you usually consume because you are in the desert, okay? And you're going to need it, and you're going to need electrolytes. That's the tip in the middle of this. I know it seems very all over the place, but in the middle of this, electrolytes, that electrolyte powder, take a couple boxes. Anyway, so con to this bus drops you off, and then you have to take these shuttle trolleys to whatever area your ticket or your camp is located in, okay? Understand that Burning Man is not just a little concert venue. This is not Coachella, okay? This is a city, a massive city with streets and directions and an entire map, because there are 70,000 people plus in this place at any given time, living and sheltering, okay? So they have built over time a city over these days, and you yourself are participating in building your area of the city, like building your structures where y'all sleep at if you didn't bring RVs and tents and stuff. Some people have moon domes. There's all types of stuff going on here. That's why this video could be 10 hours long, and I was kind of like about making it because there's so many aspects to this thing, but we're still getting your butts there, right? Once you get on this shuttle, the dust, you don't understand how serious the dust is when you go to this place. The dust here is so serious that it coats everything. Like when you go home and you have to wash your clothes, you're going to have to decide what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep, because you could literally clog your washing machine washing all this stuff to get this dust off, because it's thick, and once it's wet, it turns to clay. Okay? So if you have any kind of, ooh, I don't like to be dirty, that's it. You're going to have to take an RV and wrap yourself in plastic, and you're still going to be dirty. So this is going to be a time for conquering fears and feelings, okay? You're conquering fears and feelings. So the dust coats everything, and you are limited to what you could take with you, but you still have to carry all this yourself. There's no bag service, there's no one to help you with your stuff. Everything you bring, you're responsible for, and responsible for how you get it there. And mind you, one of the main things you need is a bike. It's a bike. Some people ship their stuff ahead of time. Some people pay for putting their bikes on the plane and all these other things. Like, I think that there's an option for you to ship stuff to them, and they have trucks to bring it in. I would have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it is, and it might only be for larger items. But like, I know that our group shipped in shipping containers full of stuff that we needed to build, because like we literally had to build structures, and I'm talking about place the rods in, have rails, you screwing down screws like this, carpet tacks, all the stuff. Like, you really, this is serious business. Some people just camp out. Some people pitch a tent and let it fly. Crazy, but hey, do your thing. So, dust everywhere. You're responsible for carrying everything. You have to figure out how to get it there. If you go to their website, they will explain everything about the travel. I don't want to give y'all no misinformation about that, and I'm not about to go research it because I'm not about to be responsible for doing this. I'll join one of your camps, okay? Because this video will be too long. Fast forward. Understand, you have carried everything. You're responsible for it. There's dust over everything, so you have to be properly closing up your food coolers, everything that you're carrying, the meat and cheese and eggs and milk and whatever you're going to use to cook for this time that you're out here, all that has to be wrapped appropriately, covered appropriately, right? Most people do a thing where they fly into Reno, say a day early before they're supposed to go to the campground, and they go and acquire all of their things, right? So they're not flying with food and nonsense like that, right? They go, they buy coolers, they buy all of the food that they want to have, they put it on dry ice, and they get all their items, and then they rent like a car or a van or something to drive it in, or they take an Uber, you know, a big enough Uber that will drop them at the front. That's also crazy. I'm not sure how they work that out, but logistically, that's what they do. They come in, they rent something once they get there, if you're flying in, because it's just more helpful for you. If you're just on the bus, you have to pack what you can pack and have someone else in your camp to bring those food items, right? There's somebody who's gonna have to be in your camp that has some kind of vehicle or something like that, because you're gonna have to bring in items, and they're gonna be fresh food items too. Now, if you're just going in a way where you're just packing a tent and stuff like that, you're going to, again, have to figure out logistically how you're going to get your food sources in. Because while there is sharing on the playa, is what they call it, the playa provides, while there is sharing and giving and caring and all of that, you have to be guaranteed consistency. There's thousands of people there. If someone's giving away pizza, you're going to get a slice. You know what I'm saying? This is not going to sustain you. You just won't die. So you need to make sure you have everything you need. The person flying in are getting there faster and getting out faster. Everything else is more optimal. Driving in an RV, bringing a van, bringing a vehicle, because you are able to do so much more and make your life so much more comfortable. Yes, sitting in line is a pain, but if you can get there a day earlier, it would be helpful for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to adjust the light. I'm not moving. So that's just what it is. Now, driving in. Driving in, if you are an individual, you just bring your vehicle of choice. They have given you your instruction once you bought your ticket about where to park or go, where to sit. You know where you're at on the playa, because there's directions. You drive to that place via the driving routes that they gave you. You park. You get to live in however you chose to live. The good thing about that is you are able to stop, right? You need water. You need copious amounts of water. There are opportunities to pay for these big vats of water, but groups usually do that. So if you're a part of a group, y'all are going to talk about that. Y'all are going to set it out, because y'all have to pay for the water to come in and be taken out, right? Because again, you can't leave anything. So driving a vehicle makes it better for you to stop. Like, I will say, I was there for 11 days, almost 10 days, because we had a weather emergency. So I was there for 10 days, and I used about 15 or 16 gallons of water. Now, to be fair, before our shower was set up, because it took the first 3 days, 4 days being there before our shower was up and functioning. That's something I will explain later, a detail that's not important to you getting there right now, okay? During those 4 days, sorry mamas, but mama was standing in a bucket washing, okay? I'm not going to bed with dust all on me. I can't have that in my space, but I plan for that, because I know I can't go to bed dirty. I can't rough it in that way. That's not for me. I popped off these nails when I got there, and I saw that I was gonna be Royalty the Builder. I was like, oh, y'all wasn't playing with me. I gotta build stuff. All right. Listen, popped them off and we got to work, baby. We put them braids up and we did what we had to do. You feel me? No problem. But, honey, no ma'am. Dirty is crazy. Go to bed on my clean, brand new Target sheets, and I hear Target done messed up with y'all, so. But anyway, they was from the black girl section. No ma'am, not me. So you really do have to plan for who you know you are, because you're responsible for that in every single solitary way. And people will share with you and help you if there's something that you have forgotten or something. But again, you want to guarantee yourself consistency so that you can be, not y'all regular like this, so that you could be comfortable. So you can stock all your things. You can stock water, extra band-aids and first aid kits, blankets, pillows, all the stuff that will make you comfortable. Another pro tip, before you leave, go to Costco, Walmart, wherever you shop, and that box of baby wipes, I feel like I've seen it. I hope they don't just put diapers in boxes. I'm not sure. I don't have no chillings, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a box of like baby wipes. Get 2 of those. Yes. You don't understand about this dust. You don't understand the places it gets. You don't understand it's gonna be in every crack, crevice, piece of everything. I'm talking about under your nail beds, all having this cracked, like everything and everything that you have. Your binoculars, because you're gonna need those. I found out I was allergic to the dust. Story for another time. This stuff gets in everything. So if you think you got enough baby wipes, bring another suitcase full of baby wipes. All right? I promise you they're gonna save you. I promise you they will save your life. So driving in does have that benefit, and also driving in, you can drive an RV, right? You can be ready. You got your bathroom right there. You got your shower. You don't have to worry about porta potties. You don't have to worry about Nathan. And if something happens, you have a stable shelter that can protect you from elements. And you get a bereavement from the social scene in a more dynamic way if you want to. But again, comfort, because now you're sleeping in the bed this whole time. Your jolly be great, right? You slept great. Your back is fine. Everything's lovely. Like, you're feeling wonderful. You're not having the day 4, oh my God, why did I do this? Right? You're feeling great. So that's how you travel in. That's the benefit. If you drive in, yes, you're gonna be sitting in line, but guess what? You'll be living life golden and feeling very comfortable for the rest of the time, and it's easier for you to take back the things you brought with you, to not leave trash, to not suffer through having a missed element, because you bring in all your liquor, you bring in all your other party favors, you bring in all your food, you bring in everything you need to survive in between that, and you have to be detailed about that. Toothpicks, toothbrushes, bring extra toothbrushes, every single thing you're gonna need, because once you're there, you're there. Okay? Now, that was long, but that's how you get there. Once you get there, once you get there, first of all, the sheer size of it is gonna blow your brain. Like, wait, because in your mind you think, okay, I've been to concerts, 70,000 people, it's a lot, but okay. 70,000 people plus their living dwellings that they have all built. It's like Mad Max Carnival, right? Because there's lights everywhere, there's sounds everywhere. Like, if you are like me on the spicy brain side, oh my God, it is a palooza of just stimulation. Like, you can be overstimulated very quickly, but you can also be excitably ADD and just like run from thing to thing like a little squirrel. Like, it's great. So I took the bus in because, again, I was joining someone's camp, so honestly I was just responsible for being there until I had to do like the building part, right? But I was just responsible for getting myself there. I didn't have to bring in like lots of supplies and stuff. I brought in my tent and my sleeping things, all of my toiletry things that I would need to be comfortable, and like but to be fair, that's because the person who I was coming with told me not to bring anything, that she would handle all of that because she was just happy that I was coming. Never listen to that when a person tells you that. Make sure that, again, you plan for your comfort, just in case what you want is not going on there. Anyway, so I took the bus in, and I had 2 large suitcases. I showed y'all in that packing video. So I had 2 large suitcases, all the stuff that I showed y'all in the packing video. So you can go back and watch that one. But I took all that stuff out of the airport. I had to roll it all over because where the buses leave from at Reno Airport is not right by the airport. You gotta walk this path and all this. It's long, so just be prepared. And there's no shuttle, there's nothing to take you there. You gotta walk over there. Once you get to the buses, depending on what you have, they have like an 18-wheeler truck and they pack certain stuff on there, and then your luggage they pack, where they can. You get on the bus, you're on here for 2.5 hours. There's no stopping, there's nothing like that. So you just sit down, eat a snack, go. Once we got to the line, we were just sitting there. But like I said, we got the fast pass. Now I'm looking at people. I'm talking to the girl who I'm supposed to meet, honey. She's on the phone with me. She's like, yeah, I'm in line right now. Mind you, when I got there, the sun was setting. It was about 5:36-ish, right? By the time we got through the line, which was the fast pace, it took us about, let's say, maybe another hour because they were kind of logistically moving us around. So maybe another hour, we got to the place where they drop us off, and then this little dust shuttle takes us to a road that connects to wherever you're going, right? It's not like curbside service, not Uber. So I had to then find my plot, right? They have names, they have street names, they have numbers. I was on what they call the playa. This is the main road, this is the main drag, this is Ocean Ave, right? That's where my group was at. Because they have a group that have been coming for time. This is like their 15th, 16th time, okay, doing this situation. So they not new to this, they true to this. I'm the one coming in as a first time camper trying to play on hard mode. But I mean, it's me. I'm great. I learn fast and I'm not afraid of anything. So let's do it. Do it, we did indeed. Do it, we did indeed. So I get there and they have this ritual where once you get off the bus, you're supposed to, because I guess it's supposed to preemptively get your mind prepared for the fact that this dust is about to be everywhere on you. I, again, refer to this dust because it is, in fact, that serious. Like, you don't understand. When they get you off the bus, they're like, okay, because up until now you've been pristine, you're clean, everything. Especially if it's your first time, I think, was the point of this. That you just lay down in the dirt. You just lay down in the dirt and you accept this dust, right? This is like their thing. Honey, no. I object. Order in the court. No, I already know I'm gonna get dirty. Me getting purposefully gross for no reason. No. And they ring a little bell and everything after you do it. Like, this is really a big deal. Ma'am, please move aside. Please tell me where I'm supposed to be going, because this is nonsense. And they're like, oh no, come on, we're part of the same group, we're part of the same cohort, you gotta get in the dirt. I was like, I was never good at group projects, never liked them. So no. However, I will give you this good picture, little Neil. There you go. Right. I accept things in my own time, and that's it. That's how we doing this. But anyway, so then we have that little situation. Take a pic, cute. Now there's this trolley. Now you have to get all of your things on the trolley. And mind you, you're not the only one with things. Everybody has big things, big bulky things, coolers that are 10 damn feet wide, and bikes and shelters and all of these things. There's no rhyme, there's no reason. It's just get in where you fit in, pile in if you can, sit on top of your suitcases. It's gonna be a bumpy ride, but we're out of here. You get me? This is pretty chaotic. Luckily, I'm a person who talks to people, so I was talking to some girl. She's like, oh, my friends are here. She's like, oh, this is what you should do. And they kind of guided me through this part, right? So I'm on the trolley. They told me which one to go to based on where I'm going, blah, blah, blah. Listen, this is a whole figure it out situation once you get to this point, okay? There are people there to assist you. Like, they have on shirts where you know that they work there and they're talking to you. And then you can ask them questions about which thing you should get on and how to get there. I happen to have a personal guide, right? That's how it works. So yeah, we're on the trolley now. Now there's dust everywhere. Like, everything has settled already onto my dress and all my shoes and everything. Like, the suitcases, everything's dirty, dusty. Like, fine, okay, we're moving. We get the trolley takes us to where I'm going. Where they're going is farther off in the city. They are headed to an outskirt that is farther away from my main place. I will have to journey to find them again. And now, as a first timer, I did not understand the seriousness and significance of having a bike. A bike will save your life. An e-bike is frowned upon. Ew, you're a techie and you're not really having the experience. Girl, bye. Okay, bye. By the 9th day of wheeling around this city that is in a desert that is over dirt. Huh? You're gonna want any type of benefit and any type of advantage there could be. Okay, don't listen to other people. Enjoy yourself the way you need to, but I'm telling you, a bike is essential. Now, I did have a great experience walking around there because I was like on the ground and got to see like little details. I wasn't kind of like speeding past things. But walking is a journey. Like, it will take you hours to get places. Like, you can walk from one side and walk for miles and miles until you get to the other end, right? Like, this is not 2 miles. This is not 3 miles. It's 10. You get me? Like, cars drive this way, art cars only. Like, your regular car has to stay stationary once you meet your plot, but there are things called art cars where people have built art. Like, one looks like an octopus and it's steel and it's like very Mad Max, like, seriously. And you can get on it and it'll go to like different parts of Burning Man, like different parts of the city. It's like taking a party bus, but it's an art car and it's going to different places of the city. You can ask them if you can come aboard their art car, and they will traipse around and they play their own music, and people are on there drinking or doing whatever they're doing, but they're going to another part of the place. Okay? So once I got dropped off by this trolley at my street crossing, I had to find the plot with all of my things. I'm walking, I'm struggling, I got bags, and 2 very tall, non-English speaking, I assume Swedish gentlemen because they were very blonde, very blue-eyed, but very svelte, was like, need help? And I was like, mm-hmm. And they piled all my stuff on this little cart that they had, and they were just walking me around and like moving me out of the way of stuff. And there are like trolleys coming and people coming, and it is just like chaos. Now it's dark, so everything is lit up by every kind of LED light you can think of. It is, whoa. Okay, it's like a carnival, literally, and everywhere, and there's sounds and people are running through and doing things. And so they are navigating me through the city streets of this chaos and taking me to where I'm supposed to go. And along the way, having to ask people, like, is this the plot number? Because it's dark now. Is this the plot number for this one? And they're like, oh no, because all of your camps have a name. So the name of mine, they kept saying the name of mine, and then they were like, oh no, they're down there, right? So these wonderful gentlemen got me all down there. Now here's the kicker. I don't know how I would have made it to these people, honestly, if those gentlemen had not taken me. Because I showed up at the wrong place, and these people were like, oh my gosh, that's okay. You're in the wrong place. Your place is 70 streets that way. But sit down, have a drink with us. We will figure it out later. Now, they were progressively drunk, right? They were more drunk than me. because I had this one drink from them, which I was not drinking because I'm focused on going back to the place where I should be. And I am at this point leaving the drinking behind. This is me at those stages of like, yeah, this is really over for me. But they are like wasted. So they like, oh, just stay with us, it's fine. You don't have to go to the place you were supposed to be. Fuck it, fuck that place. Like, we'll take you in the morning. We'll have pancakes, it'll be fine. And I'm like, ah, great, but also I want to go. So they're like, oh, we'll give you directions, and they kind of walked me a little bit, and then I turned a corner, and that's where I met the very tall svelte man. Listen, angels by angels, like I'm getting there. You know what I'm saying? Also, something that you avoid when you drive in, you drive right to your plot space, and you know there's a go. So anyway, they get me to my destination. Now, mind you, remember I told you at the top of this story that I called the girl who I was supposed to be meeting, and she's taking me to meet her camp of friends. It was about 6:30. Yeah, so I got to that camp, say, by the time all of the drinking with those gentlemen and being guided by the svelte gentleman getting me to the camp, I got there, say, maybe an hour and a half later. So maybe it was about 8 by the time I finally actually arrived to the place I was supposed to be, right? It was 8 p.m. I'm like, hey, I'm royalty, blah, blah, blah. They're like, yeah, she told us you were coming, and blah, blah, blah. We're so-and-so and so-and-so. Here's where you're going to set up. Go put up your tent. I said, go put up my tent. Okay, I can read directions, no problem. I started unrolling. They were like, wait. They were like, wait. How are you going to do anything with those nails? And I was like, what you mean? I do everything with these nails. I do life with these nails. We're fine. She was like, I'm going to take your word for it, but that might be a little difficult because here, we got to wench this in, and we've got to do this and do that. And I was like, okay. I'm going to see how this works out. Let's do it. I'm here. I said I wanted to try something different. I'm going to try it. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to be like, I'm just going to do it. So if it means that I got to clip this set of nails off, that's what that means. It's just going to happen. We're here now. So, okay, putting up the tent. Now, again, dust. So, for your living quarters, you want to keep the inside of your living quarters as clean as possible because it's your only refuge. It's your only time away from other people, away from the outside elements, away from the wind, rain, whatever. You have to be prepared for that. And a way to keep yourself cool in the tent situation when you're in the desert is to put this reflective foil that they have on the outside of it. You have to tape it to your tent, and it will reflect the sun so that it doesn't get as hot in there. My recommendation is to also bring like a battery operated air conditioner if you can find it, or a battery operated fan that has like a real heavy blower, you know, not like one of the little hand situations. That ain't gonna do nothing but move around hot. You need something that's gonna really be blowing, because everybody uses generators too. So bring a generator if that's what will be better for you, but keep it cool in there. So you want to keep it as clean as possible. So when you're putting it up, first of all, you have to make plans for your in and out shoes, right? When you step into your tent to put something down, when you step out to go about the rest of the world, you are not tracking that in and out, because before you know it, like stepping in there one time, you're going to see your footprints, you're going to see some dust, you're like, okay, that's not that bad. By the third or fourth time you do it, everything is coated now, so you're not doing that. So you have to plan for in and out. So when you're putting up the tent from the outside, like only touch the outside, leave it zipped, don't try to open it to push the corners out, don't do any of that. Keep it completely closed, and if you can, before you go, cover your tent in this foil already to already have it taped to it. And if you can't, just go ahead and put the tent out, set it up the right way, put this foil on it, do all of that. Get a bucket of water and soap or whatever you're using to clean, or baby wipes or whatever. Fully clean your hands, your feet, your legs, your arms before you walk into your tent to set up the inside. Get one that's big enough for you to walk around in. So if you're one person, get the 4-person tent. If you're one person, get the 4-person tent, because you will be so much more comfortable. You can keep your things inside. You can set up a station for washing. You can set up a side that in the event for some reason you can't make it to the porta potty, or there's a shelter in place or something and you have to store like your bodily fluids, you want that in some kind of corner that you can cover or something, because it is a possibility depending on weather. So, because it happened to us. So, get that bigger tent. Like, don't tell yourself like, oh, this will be fine. No, get as much space as you possibly can, and that is allotted for you and your group of people, or you yourself. Like, do it. Do that. Have the mansion on the playa, okay? Do it. Get yourself a big tent, because it's going to save a lot of trouble for yourself. Because the more of your things you can keep inside and in an organized place, the cleaner you can keep like your food items. You're gonna need to keep like cloths and stuff clean so that you can clean yourself, and you also want to keep certain things sanitary in case you get a cut on your hand, or you get anything like your fingernails are cracking. All this stuff, I'm gonna tell you stuff that you can do to prevent that. But yeah, like, you want this stuff to be clean, okay? Think about that. Think about containers and stuff like that. Like, think about how you're going to eat, what food you're going to eat and stuff, where you're going to store your water, because everybody's camp is different and they set up things different ways, so you have to go with the camp that you like. But if you're by yourself or individual, I'm going to talk to you as an individual, because you might not want to join a camp, and then everybody who joins a camp, you figure out the way that camp works, but this individual stuff will still fit for your own personal comforts, right? Yeah, so get the bigger tent. Wash yourself before you go into that tent. Set up a washing station so that, number one, you're not putting water on the ground. You'll have to have, like, say, some kind of tarp or plastic in front of your tent, so that when you set up the washing station and you step your feet into that washing station, you step your hands and stuff and your arms in there before you wash to go inside, or while you disrobe to take your clothes off so you don't take all that dust inside. You have to have plastic bags set up. You'll have your buckets set up, and your tarp down to make sure that none of that water is sloshing on the ground. Water dropping on the ground in the desert, number one, this is sacred land, and number two, it is an ecosystem. So your water, your body fluids, your dirt, your anything, your sweat, all of that dropping onto the ground is a disturbance to the ecosystem, and a number one no-no. That is the number one no-no of this entire event. Disturbing the ecosystem is absolutely, positively a no-no. It's not about not frowned upon, like none of that. It is a no-go, okay? Other people will stop you. So you can't be offended if you've done something. Listen, because this is very, very serious to this ecosystem and to being allowed by the native people who have allowed this festival to take place on their sacred land, for whatever reason that is not my business, to allow it to continue. Anyway, so yes, you have to have that tarp set up. Clean yourself before you go inside of your living quarters. I would recommend disrobing. Everybody's out there naked anyway, so you can just be unashamed. But if you're not as free as just taking off your clothes and somebody might walk past, you can also set up privacy curtain. That's just my recommendation. Some people set up a station inside their tent where they disrobe, but dust flies, and we all know it. I set up plastic outside, disrobe from my clothing for the day, and this was before the showers were set up. Disrobe from my clothing for the day, put it in plastic. It's outside, it stays outside, it doesn't matter now because I've sealed it and closed it. It's gonna go back in my suitcase when I bring my suitcases outside of my tent ready to pack up to go home.
Once the shower was set up, I just took everything to the shower, disrobing inside the shower, obviously. Put those clothes again in plastic. Showered, walked back to my tent with my outside shoes, dipped my foot in my washing station before I touched my inside shoes, and I kept it clean in there. I was pretty cool. This was until the weather disaster. Once the weather disaster happened, baby, it was tough. But I'll explain that later. So yeah, that's set up. Now, if you are in a group, which is more than likely gonna be the way you experience this, y'all are literally going to build everything y'all have, and all of the camps have different themes. All of them do different things. Like there was a black camp where their theme was BDSM. So like they had a cage up, and they had set up a whole bar, and there were stools, there were tables, and they had like different things set up to where like people could participate. Like they had this one guy inside of a cage, and he liked being tickled, and they gave everybody these things to like tickle this man. People were getting whipped. There was different stuff. Their theme was BDSM. There was another group, theirs was like healthy juicing. So they did, during the daytime, you could go over there with your cup, because you have to bring all your own stuff. When I say you're responsible for everything, you have to bring everything. So people will share alcohol and drinks and food and all these things with you, but you have to have your own cup. So you bring your travel cup that you can clip with a carabiner to your belt or to whatever, because some people aren't really wearing clothes, so they clip it to like a little strap that they have around their arm or something. And your plate, and then your fork and knife, if you're gonna need it, goes inside your food items, and they give you, because again, no waste, so people aren't walking around with plastic forks and stuff like that. These are all things you carry with yourself. They have chili. They put the chili in the bowl for you. You eat with your food and sport. You wash it in your washing station, and then you go about your day. Anyway, so everybody has a different theme. One group, they were like the barbecue theme, so every day they were like barbecuing food, and over here they were like, you can get grilled cheese and all, whatever their theme is. There was one group that people aren't supposed to have branded items, but they had a whole globe built. When I say a globe, I mean like a big, huge dome. This was not a little yurt, honey. This was a big, huge dome where there was a full-on party and a full-on bar with LED lights and like a huge screen set up. And their theme was tequila, and there were thousands of bottles of tequila, and you could stay there all day and party and drink and lay on the floor and lay on all these things that they had set up, or dance on the floor and drink tequila all day. Okay, so these are the things. They're chocolate themed. One tent we went to, they were like just kind of chill grassroots. They gave out mushroom bars. So there were these big artisanal chocolate bars like this big, and they were giving out mushroom chocolate bars. Me and all my friends went there, hung out, listened to the DJ set, and got all these chocolate bars, and boom, there's your mushrooms for the next 4 days. You get me? Okay, so everyone is themed, and depending on your theme, you're gonna have to help build it. So everything that they had, like if they had a DJ booth set up, if they had grills set up, if they had different stages set up for people to come play, if they had different things about their area, village that were to their theme, they built those things, and you with your team built those things. So for mine, personally, they were a New Orleans dive bar theme. So we had to build a bar, we had to build all the tents that shielded us from the sun, we had to build all the furniture that would sit inside of this dive bar, we had to build the structure for the shower, because again, you can't leave any water. So as people are showering with the battery operated pump that makes the water come out, the water has to go down to this thing that was like deep enough, like a pool, so that over the daytime this water could evaporate. So they evaporate as much of the water as they can, and then they move it out in these jugs that the group paid for. I was invited by someone at the last minute. And initially she told me that I could stay in her structure with her just to come, and all I needed to do was pay for my flight. And then then or like a day or so before it's time for us to go, I've already booked my flight and everything. She's like, oh, I think you should get your own structure for sleeping and stuff. So basically I had to go out and buy a tent and all the stuff that I needed a day before I was supposed to go. Then when I got there, later on she was like, oh yeah, something about like $400 or something that they had like group dues or something. And I was like, girl, you didn't tell me about none of that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You're gonna have to figure that out. And she started acting very strange when we got there. This was even before this money conversation. And I was like, oh, she was just the catalyst for me to get there because we did not vibe. But anyway, I ended up making a bestie in the camp though. Shout out to Rocky, love you, Bookie. And everybody else was super cool. But yeah, so everybody had a theme. We had to build that stuff, and we built it over, this is about 24 hours. So I got there at like 8, and we were working in shifts at 8 p.m. Mind you, the girl who I got on the phone with when I got there at 6, I arrived there at 8 p.m. She didn't make it through that line until it was almost like 1:30 or 2 in the morning. Might have been 3. That's how long she was sitting there trying to get through the line. So the line is no joke. And we just kept working and working and working, because if we would have kept stopping, it would have took forever. Certain structures wouldn't be standing. So we just kind of worked through, and I was kind of exhausted that first 3 days, but I took a lot of pictures, a lot of videos. Day number 2, figured out I'm allergic to dust. I was allergic to that dust. It got all over my nose and eyes, and my eyes swelled up, and it just so happened that the girl who invited me there was an ontologist, is that what they're called? Are they called ontologists? Optometrist. She was an optometrist, and so she had some solution there to soothe my eyes, and then they covered it with goggles. But then I had to go to the medical tent, and they did like a flushing thing where they put this thing up my nose and flushed everything out, and then did some other stuff to my eyes, and then covered my face with this thing. Like, you know how like when basketball players break their nose and they have to have a thing like this? They covered me with something like that, and then I had to like stay in the tent for like a day or something, like a whole day or so. And after that, I had to wear the goggles everywhere I went. And my skin was just like freaking out and cracking and breaking. But like I had stuff like Vaseline and stuff. You have to keep your nail beds wet with Vaseline. You have to slather on Vaseline like it's winter time, because your skin chafes, because the dust is like clay that's very drying, so it sucks water out of anything it touches. So everything is drying out. So you have to be prepared for that. You're gonna work, so I had to clip these nails off and just get to it with everybody else. And everybody was pretty proud, because they were like, dang, you ain't never been camping, you never done any of this, and you went on hard mode. And I'm like, I mean, it's an experience. I was invited, so I go with it. But I met wonderful people. It's amazing things to see. What else can I tell y'all that y'all should do besides plan for your own comfort? Plan for emergencies. We didn't know the weather was gonna happen like that. It hadn't rained here in, I guess, 10 years, 12 years, something like that. it was a gnarly experience because all that dust turned to this thick clay that like we had to put Ziploc bags on our feet to be able to move through it, because if you just step down on it with your shoe, you pulling up entire chunks of land, and like people foot getting stuck there and they falling over, people was breaking ribs and arms and stuff. Some people were high off drugs and playing in it, which they told us not to do because again you're disturbing the environment, and they were breaking stuff. And then you have the people who don't listen, so they like, oh, I gotta get out of here. They taking their trucks, driving across the terrain, they end up with $1,000 ticket and stop. So you can't get out of this place unless they let you out. So if you have broken the rule and you call yourself driving your car across this terrain during a rain emergency, tearing up the land and all that, there are officers on here. They stop you and they put you in what they call Lot D. Lot D means you will wait until everyone else has left the park before you're able to leave, and you get $1,000 ticket. Not worth it. So, I would have to do separate story times to talk about every single thing that happened there, because there's so much. Like, there's so much. But what I will tell you is that me and Rocky were hanging and banging for this whole time. We found all the black people. We ended up having a black people meetup in one of the main areas and doing what? The hustle. And did. Because it's always going to be a backyard barbecue with us. And that's for sure. That was great. I have video and footage of all of that stuff. Like, I met some amazing people. I could do an entire op-ed about white girls and box braids, but I won't. Just like I didn't pay it the attention they wanted me to pay it while I was there, I'm not gonna pay it the attention they want me to pay it here. No. I learned a lot about myself and what's really important to me. What I can do when I decide I want to do something. And I had some of the biggest epiphanies about believing in myself while I was there. And also that when people are under the right conditions, they really can take care of each other. And that racism and systematic oppression are not a disease. They are a choice. They are a choice made in the heart and manifested in the mind and operated on in action. It's just a choice. It's not something that's embedded, ingrained, or has to stay. It's something that any encounter could change. But a person is choosing, a group is choosing to remain in that because it gives them comfort. I learned that as a definite. Yeah. So, but overall, going was fun. It was worth all the dust. It was worth the grind. Oh, and know this, it's gonna take you at least a week for your body to recover from being there. You're gonna go home and you're gonna tell yourself, as soon as I get home, I'm washing all this stuff. I'm getting all this dust on me. Honey, when you cross that threshold with all of those dusty bags and your dusty self, the only thing you're going to do is get in the shower and go to bed. Luckily, I was in a position where I could sleep for a week because of the type of work I was doing. Because I could decide when I was doing it and when I wasn't. But baby, you need that. And it took me about, I am not gonna lie, it took me a week and a half, almost 2 weeks to even look at those suitcases and say, okay, I'm about to open these dust buckets and wash this stuff. Another good thing I did for myself, which I feel like I showed y'all, was that I vacuum sealed my stuff while I was traveling, so it made it possible for me to take those big cushions and pillows in a suitcase and those big blankets, because I used the vacuum sealer to crush them, which also makes them, I don't know if it actually makes them lighter, but it makes it seem like it anyway. And put them in the luggage. That was helpful too, because on the way back, I wasn't getting additional mud and gunk and dust all over everything, because everything was like vacuum sealed down into the bag, and it didn't have to be dealt with until washing. So do yourself that favor, no matter how you travel, if you fly or if you drive in, vacuum seal your stuff. That will save you a lot of mess later. This video has been long. I've been talking for a minute. So that's overall how it went. It was great. I had a good time. I saw a bunch of things. Things were thinking. There are anything that you are looking for, you can find it at the playa. At Burning Man, there is everything you can think of. Any fantasy you have, any drug you want to do, anything you want to see, it's somewhere. For example, you get priority line space at the orgy tents if you bring fresh sheets. There is a happy ending tent for women only, because usually it's not what happens for them. There are waffle stations. And I know I just said woman happy ending and waffle station in the same sentence, but that's the type of place you're going to. Okay? Rub one out over here. Belgian waffles when you're done. That's it. That's the vibes. Like, I have never seen so many naked gentlemen who could be my grandpapa. Like, it's like, it's never the sexy soccer player you want to see. You know what I'm saying? It's never, you know what I'm saying, that first draft pick from the NFL walking around bucky naked. It's never, you know what I mean, that good volleyball player that she played beach volleyball with. It's Greg and Richard and Diana and Rochelle. They come out, and Susan and Kate. You feel me? It's them. You know, people who drive Subarus. You know, and every now and then you'll get a few Teslas running around there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A few Brooklyns and where are those girls? A few Kims. You know what I'm saying? They be running around there. Woo! You know, but. Anyway, it's definitely a time. It's definitely a time. So, if you're going, absolutely go. Yes, I got hella stories, but I don't know. I don't know when I would plan to tell them all. And if I put together pictures and videos, like, it would probably take me a minute. There's so much. But I'm gonna see. I know one madam in particular, you waited for this video for a long time. I hope it was helpful, because I was just up here gabbing on this good rainy day. Because I'm in Brazil at home right now, well, which I've made my home. Y'all know where I'm from. You feel me? But yeah, this wasn't my plan today, but hope this helps. If it doesn't, I mean, maybe ask me something more specific, but oh, shoot, I gotta turn the camera on quick. People who don't like sparkling water, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. It's so good.